Okay, so this is video number 3 in the how to spot an online dating scammer. Video 3 is going to be on basically the top 4 ways to flush out a scammer. So if you're kind of thinking, I wonder if he's real, I wonder if this is legit, here are 4 fire sure ways to just get to the bottom of it. Okay, number 1, insist that they chat with you on Skype or FaceTime. The goal with this is you want to see their face. As soon as you see their face, then you're going to realize they are indeed a scammer, because the pictures, of course, that they're posting online are not of them. The pictures they're posting online are either stolen from somebody else's profile or they're stolen from some sort of website. A friend of mine, she keeps crashing into online dating scammers like crazy. It's absolutely wild. And it's almost become this like twisted habit of hers. She just loves to play, like just to toy with them. And I don't even, it's like her own form of entertainment. It's really hilarious. So, but of course, they won't Skype with her. They won't FaceTime with her. They just want to use, Yahoo Instant Messenger, or some sort of other instant messenger chat service. They might even call you over the phone, but they're going to tell you for some reason that they don't know how to use Skype, or that they don't know how to use FaceTime, which that might be true, but Google it, right? Like, it's the year 2015. If you don't know how to do it, have them just say, you know what? Google it. It's super easy to do. And then we can chat. My guess is, of course, I'm trying to justify like why somebody wouldn't have a camera phone, but really, if they're going to say that they're in the military, because the men tend to say that they're either in the military or that they're some sort of very like wealthy entrepreneur, or that they're like a professional engineer. Either one of those 3 people are going to have a phone with a camera on it. I don't buy for a second that there's people out there that are in either of those 3 professions that are using some sort of cell phone from like 1999 that doesn't have a video capacity to it. So if they're giving you some sort of silly reason or some sort of reason as to why they can't use Skype or FaceTime, don't buy it. That's right there, like, end of story. You know that they're a scammer. Okay. Number 2, search for them as well as their pictures online. So if they're telling you that their name, and this is another thing I heard from my friend who, like I said, she should work for the FBI. Like, she really is so good at like getting to the bottom of these scammers. But if they're telling you that their name is, let's say, John Smith, right? But that because they have an accent, now they're telling you that they somehow lived overseas, or that they were born in Sweden or something like that. Odds are, with a name like John Smith, they're probably not Swedish. Like, their parents are probably not Swedish of the very American sounding name like that. And they tend to always use very American sounding names because they're catching on that we're catching on to be aware of any foreigners online, because the prevalence of online dating scams is so high, especially with scammers that are from overseas. So what you can do is you can take their pictures, you can copy and paste them into Google, and you can do a Google image search. And what my friend was finding was that the 4 or so images that they tend to put on their dating profile page, nothing's going to come up with those. But have them continue to send pictures. Just say, oh, I just love seeing your face. Like, can you send me some more pictures? They're going to eventually run out of pictures because these pictures are stolen. So at about the 7 or 8 picture point, after like the 7th or 8th picture that they send you, you could Google all of those. Eventually one of those is going to come up as a picture from somebody else. Some of the pictures that she had found that she was Googling were from of a dentist, I think in California. It was like his website. And this scammer had just stolen all these pictures off of it. So let's see. Insist that you meet them soon, and tell them that you really don't want to talk to them anymore until you meet in person. This is kind of something, it's good to guard your heart when you're dating, and it's really good to not invest a ton of time with somebody right away. I've learned the hard way, and I will cover this. If it's not in this video, it'll be in the next one, about how I used to go about online dating, for what it's worth. But keep in mind, I'm single, so I don't know. You might want to just do the opposite of everything that I'm doing. But for what it's worth, I will go over how I used to go about online dating and how I go about it now. And I actually did. I met my first. I sound like I have so many husbands. I met my first and only husband, my ex-husband, through online dating, and that we dated about 10, I don't even know, 10, 13 years ago. I have no sense of time. Like, if you were to really get to know me, I have like a dog-like sense of time. So it's terrible. It could have been 10 years. It could have been 13 years ago. I'd have to do the math. I don't know. But I met him online. He was totally legit. Everything was great. He was a super good guy. He was more than he even claimed to be online. Those days, I think, are kind of long gone. Now it's the exact opposite. And there's shows out there called like Catfish and stuff, where it talks about people that have just been scammed by others online. The insisting that you meet them soon. So, even if they are legit, like even if this person is legit and they said that they live 20 minutes away, you really want to meet soon, because it's really easy to have a connection, or what you think is a connection, with somebody over email, or even over the phone, or even over Skype, but then it's totally different in person. And if you're with a scammer, of course, they're going to be rushing intimacy, right? They're going to be talking about, that you have a soulmate connection, that they've never felt like this with anybody else before, that they love you, that they want to be with you, that they, misreading your words, and they just want nothing more than to hug you or to fall asleep in your arms. It's going to be very flowery, over the top language. There's nothing worse than, I guess besides that being a total scam and you giving away all of your money, the second thing that would be worse with that would be that person really is real, and that you're having all of these feelings, and then you meet and there's no click, and then it's super awkward, because maybe there's no click on your part. Now you've got to call things off, or maybe there's no click on their part and they have to call things off, and here you are, just devastated. And the reality is they're still a total stranger, even though it feels like they're not. So insist that you meet them soon. A side story. Okay, so I used to work with this guy, and I used to work at a crisis center. Okay, so we dealt with people that were like acutely mentally ill, or had some sort of like acute breakdown. So a lot of people that were suicidal and all this. So anyways, so one of the guys that I worked with there was a mental health worker. He ran groups and stuff for these people, and he worked in like the mental health field. So you think that he would kind of have a better clue about some of this stuff, and about scams, and about being manipulated, because that's kind of what we deal with a lot in our job, with a lot of people with personality disorders, and we deal with a lot of addiction oftentimes, and so a lot of like manipulative people, really. So he was telling me this one day that he had met this girl online. This was a while back. He was no longer seeing her, but that he'd met this girl online. They chatted, I kid you not, for over a year. And he was so into her, and they kept planning on meeting, but things kept coming up and she couldn't meet him. And finally, we live in Michigan. He drove to Canada. It was probably a good, 10, 15 hour drive from here, to just show up on her doorstep, because he was so infatuated with her and just loved her. He was totally in love with her. And she, of course, I'm sure did not give him the correct address or whatever, but had some excuse as to why she couldn't meet, even though he'd driven 15 hours. And what was even crazier than that was to listen to him tell the story. Oh my gosh, there is a deer. There is a deer in my front yard. You have to see this really quick. I'm just going to move the camera. This is so cool. Can you see that? That's a little side note. Hi, aren't you cute? You're eating your grass. I'm going to spook him. Oh, that's so neat. I hope that you saw that, because that's that never happens. And what's even stranger than that is behind all of those reeds is a lake. So I have no idea that deer swam over here. I don't even know how that deer got here, but that was kind of cool. What was I saying? Okay, so what was even stranger about him telling the story was that, about a year had passed since he had been dating this woman, and it still didn't click on him that it was a scam. And I even brought that up. I said, well, it sounds like she totally catfished you. Like, it sounds like she wasn't legit, or, really she was not who she claimed to be, right? She was sending him all these pictures, and he's like, no, nope. She just had issues with men. That's what it was. He would not, could not get to the point where he would admit that it was a scam. I think to anybody else, it's a fairly obvious scam. That's exactly how these things go. The people never ever want to meet because they're not who they say that they are. A lot of bored married people are online looking for a date to either cheat, or just for the attention, or just to see if they can kind of get away with it. Or it's people, that might not get attention from, other people outside of lying. Or that, I shouldn't say that, because I think there's people, everybody's attracted to different things, but maybe people that are not getting, they're going to get a lot more attention. If they're a 700-pound woman, they're going to get a lot more attention claiming to be, and they're a 700-pound woman who's, 65 years old is going to get a lot less attention than a 23-year-old bikini model, right? Or so it's really easy for them to pretend to be this 23-year-old bikini model. That's why you want to meet sooner than later. So the last thing that you can do to get them to see if they're a scammer is to flat out tell them that you would absolutely never give a stranger that you've met online money. I would just lay that out on the line as soon as your spidey sense kind of goes off. It'll save you a ton of time. And you could phrase it in some sort of way like, I was watching this video on YouTube that said that so many scammers hit people up for money, and that's so crazy that people even do that. I would never give money to an online scammer. Have you seen these videos on YouTube, or do you watch Dr. Phil, or have you read about this? And just kind of approach the conversation in maybe like not a direct way. I know a lot of people that I've talked to, like again, my friend, before she kind of caught on that these people that she was chatting with were scammers, we would talk about this, and I would tell her, I'm like, just tell him you want to be on Skype, tell him that you would never give a person money. And she was so afraid of offending him that she didn't want to bring that up. But the reality is, it's the year 2015. People bring up all kinds of stuff. Like, everybody knows you can't really trust anybody else, like especially on dating sites, because it's so easy. Even like normal decent people tend to lie about stuff online. It's really crazy. I actually tend to do the exact opposite, because I have this weird, it's not weird, this fear of that I'm gonna like disappoint somebody. So my online dating profile picture is me after I just got done swimming in the lake with my friends. I have no makeup on. My hair is slicked back. It's sort of like, my picture is like, well, I'd like to think it kind of only goes up from here. Kind of thing. So if you're okay with this picture, I can clean it up a bit. That's, but a lot of people don't do that. So I actually went to, I'm a big fan of meetup.com. If you guys, this again, off track, I'm sorry. If you guys are getting over narcissistic abuse, I will do making a note to do another video on this, meetup.com. Okay. If you are a victim of narcissistic abuse, my guess is you're probably trying to figure out how to reassemble the different pieces of your life. A great way to do this is to go on meetup.com. I'm not affiliated with them. And to join a bunch of different groups that you think you might be interested in. It's not a dating site. It's a way to meet people of all ages, different genders, around the same topics that you're interested in. It's a great outlet. It's a great way to keep your mind busy, and it's a great way to just not be so focused on the pain that you're in, basically. So anyways, I met this woman through this meetup group, and she was telling me that her profile picture was her, but like 100 pounds less. And she was hilarious about it. She's like, well, yeah, I don't want anybody to see me now. And I thought, well, what are you going to say when they see you in person? Like, that's crazy. So point being, you can't really trust people online. Go slow. again, focus on being choosy, not on being chosen. That's the biggest thing right there. So stay tuned for video number 4. I guess it is about what I did in the past with online dating and what I do now. I feel like it really works pretty well. Okay, I'll see you soon.